Hello everybody, it's good to see everybody again, or have you back I should say. Last time we were live was last week, surprising. Do some little bit of southwest hops today, just a little short hops. Where are we going from? We're sitting on the ground here at KCMH in Ohio, in Columbus, and we're going to fly right over to Pittsburgh. It's about an hour-ish flight. So nothing too crazy. I just figured something quick and easy, and why not, right? I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. I would really appreciate you even stopping by, first of all. So I can't thank you enough for that. So I guess we're just loading up here, finishing up some stuff. I do not use GSX. This is all just kind of for show that comes with PMDG, the fuel truck there, and all the baggage loaders and the catering and stuff. That's all just PMDG. The scenery that we're using today is Freeware scenery. It's on flightsim.to. It is really nice scenery. Let me see if I can move around here and show you guys a bit. If I remember how to. Yeah, it's Freeware scenery. It's beautiful. It's done on flightsim.to, so it's free. Definitely beautifully well done. I believe KCMH in Ohio. But you can see like everything's modeled and very well done. So I have to give a huge shout out, to all of those devs over on flightsim.to that take their time out of their day and nights and evenings, and they do this for free because I mean they do a wonderful job, of creating all this freeware scenery for us, and they do it so well. So I definitely have to give a huge shout out to all of those devs over on flightsim.to that, again, just give us all of this amazing freeware, and the modeling that they do is amazing. Like, as far as like, just as far out. I mean, they go the extra mile to, create all of these assets for the airport and take, their time to make all of this for the airport, and it's simply beautiful. The control tower, just the airport in general, it's absolutely beautiful. So huge shout out to all of those devs. Over at flightsim.to that, again, take all of their time to make all of this beautiful content for us. So just a little bit tour here of KCMH, so that way I can give you guys a little bit of a view here. I don't know why the jetway went away. Alright, I don't want to waste anybody's time here. We'll go ahead and start jumping in the airplane and get things fired up here. We are using the Boris audio pack here in the PMDG 737-700. Again, if you don't know Boris, his work is just out of this world. I mean, he's a magician when it comes to sounds for the aircraft. I've had his sound packs for all sorts of airplane, from X-Plane and now Microsoft, and let me tell you, he is definitely the GOAT for sounds for these aircraft. Alright, let's get the airplane fired up and turned on and ready to go here. So we'll get our battery switch on. We'll get the ground power on. On the emergency exit lights. We'll get the IRSs over to the nav position. We'll get some panel brightness on. Some Sometimes the scroll wheel doesn't agree with me. We'll get the forward fuel pump on. We get the ISO valves all over to the auto position and the actual bleeds off for now. Get the no smoking to the on position. Everything else up here looks good for now. We'll go down here to our FMC. Wants us to enter our IRS position, so we'll go to the FMC. Position init. I'll pull up Navigraph here. KCMH is where we're going, or coming, or leaving from, departing. So KCMH. Throw that into our scratch pad here. Over our next page and grab our left GPS position. Set that into our IRS position here. And there you'll see the IRSs and the instruments come alive. Alright, we'll go over to our route page on our FMC. Our origin is KCMH, and our destination is Pittsburgh. K-Pitt. Our flight number today is Southwest 2980. This is a real-world flight that I just saw on Flight Radar 24, which made me think about doing this. So Southwest 2980. SWA 2980. Put in our flight number. And while we're down here, we'll get some main panel brightness on. Some background brightness on. And the AFDS floodlights. We'll get those on. While we're down here, we'll get the main panel brightness on for the co-pilot side as well. And we'll come over here and get this panel brightness on for the lower pedestal. Alright. I might as well go ahead and release all of these guys, that way we don't have to sit here and wait. Alright, go to our EFB here. Request data from SimBrief. That should be loading up then. And that should then be able to go to our flight plan request down here on our FMC. Yep, there it is. KCMH over to Pittsburgh from SimBrief. We'll set the payload. I always like to do it twice just to be double sure. And we'll set the fuel. You'll watch over here on our fuel. There you saw the fuel change. Like I said, I like to double check just to be double extra sure. Alright, select route. Flight plan request. We'll wait for that to initialize and load. Again, I really thank you all for at least tuning in and just stopping by at least. That's really all I could ever ask for. That's more than I ever look for, is just even for you just to stop by. It's wonderful. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out the stream. I know it's nothing fancy, nothing crazy. I know there's a lot of content creators out there. I am a real-world avionics tech, as you guys saw in the title. If you want to, I can show you stuff if you'd like to of what I do as a job. But yeah, let me shut up here. We'll load our flight plan. Alright, we'll upload our flight plan here. Alright, we'll activate and execute our flight plan. Alright, and that looks like it's ready to go. Let me look at our departure runway here. 28 left is what Navigraph is showing. So 28 left, we'll throw that into our runway here and execute. Alright, I want to go over here to our performance tool. On our EFB, and we're going to select our departing runway. 28 left. Import all of our information from the aircraft. We'll import the weather. and we will calculate everything. So our flaps position 1. Let's do flaps 5, and then so that way we can. I always like flaps 5 departure. That just makes me feel more comfortable, and that's pretty standard and normal too for procedures. Is a flaps 5 departure. All right, we're looking at 31 on our cell temp, 7 on the trim, V1 129, VR 130, V2 134, and our VREF speed is also 134. And our weight is 130,568 pounds. All right. So we'll go over to our departures here, and I will. Actually, there is no departure out of here, I believe. If I'm looking at Navigraph, correct? Right. So we should be able to just go arrivals into Pittsburgh. 28 left. ILS 28 left. With the Fuga 7 arrival. And our transition is CTW. Charlie Tango Whiskey is our transition. And we'll execute that. We'll go over to our legs page and look for any discontinuities here. Everything looks pretty good. Is it, like I said, this is a really short, about an hour-ish flight. We're looking over to Pittsburgh from Columbus, Ohio. So nothing too crazy. All right, we'll go over to our NIT ref page and we'll request our perf and NIT. Wait for that to load in here. Alright, we'll load and we will execute. Alright, everything looks good here. Our zero fuel weight is 120.4, 4.4 on the reserves, cost index of 80. We got our cruise winds in there, 248 to 27. Our outside air temperature to transition altitude is 18,000. We'll go over to our N1 limits, and our cell temp, what did we say it was for our cell temp? 31 degrees Celsius. So we got 31 plugged in here. Why is that? Unless it already has that already in there. Alright, we said we're going to do flaps 5 departure. Our CG, 17.4% on the CG, and our trim value is 6.64. And we have to manually set the trim on this airplane. In the max, it'll do it automatically. So we'll go ahead and set the trim to 6.64. Alright, we're past 6. That looks about right. Somewhere in there is fine. Alright. And we'll just confirm our V speeds. V1 125, VR 128, V2 134. And everything looks good there. 29, 30, 34. Yep. And then I will go ahead and set. Look on Navigraph here, and let me see what the procedures are. Runway 28 left. Well, we'll just get 18,000 plugged in for a transition altitude then, since I can't seem to find any charts for the departure. Alright, so we got 18,000 plugged in there. What's the weather here? The altimeter is 29.84. So we'll get our altimeter set to 2984. Okay. Just want to make sure they're double check they're all synced up across the board. I always get my VORs off just because I'm not using them first off, and then I don't like just a lot of stuff on the screen to begin with. Alright, we'll squawk 2000 here since I am flying offline. We'll get that over to TARA. I'll switch these frequencies over from the nav. We'll go ahead and get the APU fired up and ready to go here. On, and then start. And then, like I said, from my last stream, when I did the 720, when I was working on the Boeing 727 in college, when we started the APU, it was hold down for 3 seconds in the start position, then let it go back on to the on position. That's at least what we did for the 727. Samantha Fox, thanks for joining. Which part didn't work again? Just joined, but love the 737. I honestly can't remember what I was talking about. Which part didn't work again? I don't even think I remember, to be honest with you. I really apologize about that, Samantha. But yeah, I love the 737. It's I wouldn't say it's my favorite aircraft. I'm just an av geek in general, especially since I work in the real world and work on airplanes in general. I love airplanes in general. So I definitely can't say that I have a favorite. But yeah, the 737 is obviously an all-time classic favorite. I want to get my speed plugged in on the autopilot panel. So 134, I always add 5 to this. So what are we looking at? 139. And runway heading is what are we looking at? Should be let me go down here to departures, or on legs. The runway heading should be 280. Yeah, okay. So we'll get runway heading plugged up here for 280. I always bug up runway heading just to be safe. All right. The APU is online and available, so we'll get the APU gens on. Get the bus transfers over. We'll get the APU bleed on. Let's switch this guy over to APU gen. Yes, Samantha, it really is a really fun job, IRL. I can show you, once we get up to cruise, if we have time to even cruise for a little bit, I can show you what I do for work as an avionics tech. Let me just say the wiring that I have experienced can be a nightmare to some people. It's crazy. And to answer your question, Samantha, do I work on the 737? I do not. So I currently, my first job out of college, I've been working for about 6 years now, 6.5 years. I work on general aviation aircraft. I do at some point plan to go over to the airline industry and work on commercial aircraft at some point. I do not know exactly when. All right. Enough of me spewing here. I just want to make sure everything's disconnected here. We can release the ground power since we're on APU gen. Get the electric hydro pumps on. We'll get the windshield heat on. And then what's it have for our cruising altitude? Flight level 190. I figure we're not going to go very high, so we'll get 190 plugged in on our pressurization panel. So we got 190 plugged in on our pressurization panel. We'll get the seatbelts to the on position. Go ahead and set our park brake. And we will remove the chocks. And I'll get the anti-collision light on. Get the rest of our fuel pumps on for engine start. Everything upstairs looks good. I have this all set. Transition altitude, our runway heading, and our V2 speed +5. I just want to make sure the jetway is disconnected here. We're all closed up. I do use toolbar pushback. It's a great add-on, toolbar pushback. If you don't have that for Microsoft Flight Sim, it's definitely a great add-on. All right, so our jetway is disconnected. Everything's looking good. We'll go ahead and prepare ourselves for pushback and departure using toolbar pushback free from FlightSim.to. I've been using this since day one. It's really nice. I'll pull up our Navigraph charts here and see where we're sitting at gate A4. We're going to go to runway 28 left for departure. So we'll push out our tail this way here. Minimize that. Not too long of a pushback. We'll set her there, and we'll request our pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Put that over to legs page. I always like to double check to make sure everything is where it should be. It's just a procedure of mine. I always double check whether I'm working on something IRL as an avionics tech or just in the sim.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
All right, release our park brake for him.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
All right, and we'll get the isolation valves off for engine start. Get engine number 2 over to the ground position for engine start, and I'll let you guys listen to these sounds. Looking for about 24-25%, and we'll introduce fuel. then we'll wait for him to complete the pushback to start engine number 1. Yes, Samantha, we will definitely do auto brake to max RTO for that's on our checklist here.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
All right, we will set our park brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
And then we'll wait for him to clear the aircraft. Everything's looking good. All right, we'll go ahead and fire up engine number 1. Introduce fuel. Love, 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 love those sounds. Boris, just what a masterpiece. All right. We'll get the valves or the packs back to the auto position. We'll get the engine bleeds on. Get the APU bleed off. Engine generators come on. Yaw damper comes on. Flip this over to Gen 1. Get our probe heat on. Get our taxi light on, get the APU to the off position, engine start switches over to continuous. And everything looks set on our overhead panel. Again, I always like to do a double flow check just to make sure. All right. And we will go ahead and set our autopilot panel, flight director left side, right side, RMR auto throttle, VNav. We'll have to do heading select for one-way heading for now. Auto brake over to max RTO for takeoff. And then we've set our flaps to 5 degrees, and I'll let you guys listen to these sounds too. I love the weather texture look on this livery for the Southwest. I mean, the wings, I mean, it looks real. It's crazy. I mean, I've flown on real 737s, and I mean, this looks real. Microsoft and the livery creators and everybody has done a phenomenal job of making this look pretty much real. I can't, I mean, it's phenomenal. I also do use X-Plane 12. I have to jump back in the Zebo mod. It's been a while since I've been in the Zebo mod. I did a stream a little bit ago in the Cessna 172, just flying around. That was a kind of cool stream because it's kind of an aircraft that I work on IRL. as an avionics tech. All right, let me shut up here. Let me go through the double check. Everything looks good. Taxi light, lights. Pressurization is set. Bleeds are all set. Hydraulics, probe heat, window heat's all on. APU's off. All right, everything looks good there. We'll release our park brake and head over to runway 28 left for departure. I'll let you guys hear these engine spool up sounds while we leave the gate and ramp area. Yes, Samantha, I will get some pictures once we get airborne here. I just want to get off over to the runway and depart here. Alright, so we're exiting the ramp area. We'll get our runway turnoffs on. Look at Navigraph here to make sure we're heading the right way here. Yep. I should have just gone all the way down here, but that's alright. I'll have to make our first right coming up here on Delta down right onto Charlie. Right here. Sorry guys, this Navigraph's still up. I keep forgetting I have to minimize Navigraph. I keep just clicking out of Navigraph. I have to actually minimize Navigraph. So I really apologize about that. Alright, and then we'll take our another next right onto Charlie 2 onto runway 28 left. Alright, and then we'll hold short the hold short line. And remember, you always want to stop before the hold short line, not on the hold short line. It's just good practices. When I took my first discovery flight, so I have flown an airplane in real life, so that was really fun. I can talk about that too. The instructor did say that you always want to hold short before the hold short line. It's just good practices. Alright. We'll get all of our lights on here. All of our landing lights can come on. Engine start switches over to continuous. Logo light on. Position strobe and setting light comes on. Wing light comes on. We'll ding them. Sorry guys, didn't minimize Navigraph again. Alright. And then we should be good for departure. Alright, and then we'll pull onto the runway here. What a beautiful scene this is. Freeware scenery, no shaders, no anything of Microsoft. I mean, it's beautiful. Alright, we're just going to turn and burn here, friends. Thought it was up to about 40%. Toga.
Airspeed alive.
Slight nose down pressure until 80 knots.
80 knots.
Neutral on the yoke.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. That plugged in, our autopilot's on. Get some wing views here for you guys climbing out of Columbus. Man, look at these views. Hey Variable, how's it going, man? Good to catch you around. I always seem to catch you at takeoff. Do you do power-ups at the gate or just start on the taxiway? I do most of my power-ups and everything is when we're leaving the gate or ramp area. Just to let you guys hear, we do engine spool-ups to start the engines while we're at the gate for pushback, if that's what you're talking about, Variable. But yeah, most of the time when we do engine power-ups is when we're taxiing or something like that, leaving the gate or ramp area. Man, take a look at those views and these sounds. This is phenomenal. I'm telling you, it's like the real aircraft. Alright, we'll go ahead and go flaps clean here. Get our auto brake to the off position and our gear to the off position as well. Taxi light and our runway turnoffs off. Give you guys some views here. Look at that view right there. Wow. That's crazy. Again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in or just stopping by. It means a lot. I can't thank you guys enough. Again, just for even just stopping by and checking out the content. I know I'm not a big name streamer, just a little guy out here trying to make a name for myself. So I really appreciate you guys even just stopping by. You guys are awesome. So if you do like what you're seeing, do me a solid, and if you can hit down that thumbs up button. You guys are the best. I can't ask for more. You guys stopping by and smashing that thumbs up button to help me out, that would be phenomenal. Man, look at that view. Wow. Alright, so we're through 10,000 feet. We're going to landing lights off. Get our engine start switches off. Logo light can come off. We'll just get our steady lights on, wing light can come off, and we'll leave the, well, we can leave the seat belts to the auto position for now. And then transition altitude we said was 18,000, but we'll just get 19 plugged in since that's our top altitude. Thank you, Samantha. I really, really appreciate it. That means like so much. I really can't thank you enough. It means a lot. Variable. I did start cold and dark at the gate. I usually always try to start cold and dark at the gate. It's more realistic, more fun that way. That way you get the whole experience of setting the aircraft up. You know, from setting the airplane up, the pushback, the engine starts, taxiing. It just gives you that full immersion, you know. It's definitely a really cool experience, variable. It does take a while though, variable. I agree. Especially in new aircraft that you know we're not familiar with, it can take a while, but it's no big deal. All that counts is you're giving it a try and learning. It's just a big learning process, and it's great that the sim offers that for you. That you can take that step to learn, but don't feel like you have to be pressured into everything. Yeah, absolutely, variable for sure. And remember, our cruising altitude is 19,000 because we're not going very, very far. We're 70 miles hilltop to drop, which is funny. So we'll get standard bearer plugged in here. You hear the engine spool back. You guys really are the best. I really appreciate reading chat and talking with you guys, and tell me what you guys want to see. Like I said, I'm here for you guys. This is all for you. I personally love streaming. It's a great thing. I like doing it. Now that I have the PC to do it, it's just so much fun to actually be able to stream now. So yeah. I know Samantha wanted to see some pictures. Let's see if I can pull up some pictures quick. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I can pull up the picture you guys can see what I'm looking at. So here's kind of what I do. Wait for the picture to load here. So this is a Piper Aerostar. It's pretty relatively complete at this point. You can see all the brand new wiring in there. It's all laced up and with 8L clamps. You can see it's all laced with black lacing cord. Yeah, you see some wires hanging here and there, but for the most part, everything is in this project pretty complete. This is a really big project. Let me see if I can pull up what it with the screens. I thought I had a picture here with the screens of the. Here's what the airplane for that same exact Piper Aerostar. This is what it looked like when I gutted the entire airplane. So you have to remember, this is it gutted. For the most part, you can see like hanging right here is the whole circuit breaker panel with all the circuit breakers and power wires and everything. I mean, look at that mess all back in there, and it's nuts. But you can see I have to make this beautiful all again. It's an art, is what I tell everybody. It's an art form. I thought I had a picture here. This is that same Aerostar. This is exactly what it started out life as. So you can see all the analog gauges and stuff. It did have a screen in there, but it got all sorts of new stuff. This is a Cessna 172 that I recently completed before I started the Piper Aerostar. Most of the indicators got kind of left in there. It got 2 GI 275s, as you can see here. This is what they look like here, the GI 275s. So we have an HSI that can also become as your backup ADI if your ADI would actually fail. Really variable. That's awesome, man. How was your experience? Yeah, for sure variable. It's definitely, you have to respect those that work in the real aviation field, whether they're a maintenance, a tech, ground crew, a pilot, and anybody in the you really have to respect those people. They do so much, and the amount of knowledge that they know and everything is crazy. So this here is another a different Piper Aerostar, but it's getting the exact same setup. As you can see, it's got two, we call them Garmin G500 TXIs. It's got 2 of them here. It's got 2 GTN 750s, GI 275 standby. Ours that I'm working on currently is getting another 2 GI 275 standby over on the co-pilot side. It did get a brand new S-Tech 3100 autopilot. Again, this is a Piper Aerostar. But yeah, this is kind of what I do. If you just to get an idea, I work on these aircraft, putting in avionics just like this, and it's a load of work. It's a lot. It's just manuals out the wazoo. It's crazy work. But it's fun. It's tedious work, but it's fun. I just want to make sure that I watch our top and drop here, because I know it's going to come quick. Yeah, see, 24 nautical miles to top and drop. So let me get 4,000 plugged in here. We'll get 4,000 plugged in on our altitude on the autopilot panel. We'll go ahead and forecast our descent since we're 20 nautical miles from top and drop. Like I said, this route's going to be really quick. And I should be able to do the return leg back, so that'll be fun. Waiting for our descent winds to come back to us. For those of you just tuning in, I really appreciate you joining in and stopping by. Even just hanging out in the background. Well, thank you for just stopping by and checking out the channel. Yeah. So we'll load our winds, and we'll execute those. Alright, we're 13 miles to top and drop. We have 4,000 plugged in, and the airplane will start to descend momentarily. In about 10 miles, the airplane will start to descend. Lots of green out there, as you can tell. Lots and lots of green. pull up, open our charts here for Pittsburgh. We're on the Fuga 7. Look at the charts here. We are landing runway 28 left. I always like to have our approach chart and everything pulled up so that way I'm ready to go. Alright, the airplane's going to start descending here any minute on our way down, so we'll get the seatbelts assigned back to the on position. Alright. The airplane's going to start descending, as you can see. Alright. Final approach course is, well actually let's start with the localizer frequency, is 108.9. 108.9. Get that plugged in here. So we got 108.9 plugged in on our ILS frequency. Final approach course is 281. That plugged in. 281 on our approach, on the approach course. 281 synced up. And then 200 on our decision height. And then what's the weather looking like? The altimeter is 2988. 2988, that's all good across. I'm going to set our radio altimeter. Okay. So everything's all set up there for our approach, which is good. We'll get an auto brake over to 3, just that way to be safe. Get some speed brakes out here to help us slow down. We have a pretty nice tailwind. 23 degrees, or 23 knots of tailwind. That's pretty good. All right. Everything's looking good here. The approach is going to come fast, so I'll make sure to be on it this time. Try to catch some views here as we're coming down into good old Pennsylvania. That looks pretty good. Alright, so we're below 10,000, so we'll get our landing lights on. We'll get our logo light on. Our position strobe and steady lights on, our wing light on. I gotta see what the airport elevation is. 1203 on the airport elevation. So we'll get that plugged in here. Get 1200 plugged in our landing altitude, our preservation panel. And we'll get these engine start switches over to continuous for landing. Everything's looking good so far. There's the airport, right over there, to our left. Right there's our Pittsburgh. So we're looking good. It'll be a really nice approach. I personally have not flown into Pittsburgh. Hopefully one day I will be able to. Which is crazy to think that I've lived in Pennsylvania for 10 plus years and I haven't flown out of Pittsburgh. Most of the time when I have to fly, I fly out of Baltimore, Washington International, down in Maryland. Alright, so we'll get some drag out here. Put our FMC message. Help reduce our speed here. Just as long as we can get our speed looking good, we'll be doing all right. And we will be on vectors, so to final. So what we'll do is, once we get down to 4,000, we'll go direct to waypoint Holland, or Halen, and then we'll be on our arrival into runway 28 left. Good here. There's our call out. We have 1,000 feet to go. Wow, that scenery is beautiful. There's downtown Pittsburgh out there. Look at that sun glare off our wing. That's crazy. Yeah, you can see downtown Pittsburgh right there off our left wing. I have visited Pittsburgh many times, so I actually have one of my best friends from high school who lives in Pittsburgh, and I've been to Pittsburgh many times. It's a beautiful city, so if you ever get the chance. Yeah, variable. I'm thinking after this, I mean, I might leave it up to you guys. I'm trying to stick to real world Southwest stops, so we might just go back to Columbus from here, but we'll see. It might be up to you guys to see if you can find a real-world Southwest stops. Off this, I want to get back. I want to go into the Max for you guys to see that one. The iFly Max 8 is beautiful. That's a heck of an aircraft too. All right, so we're on vectors right now. down to 4,000. I just want to make sure that I get far out enough for the approach. Because I don't want to miss the approach. Like on last streams, I don't know if that was a me fault or who, but I felt so bad that I missed the approach. But once it's at 230 knots on for the vectors. Sure everything's looking good upstairs, which it is. I guess whenever I'm ready, I can go direct to Waypoint Holland. We'll just execute that. The airplane's going to make a left turn here. Wow, look at that detail of terrain down there. That's crazy. That looks so good down there. Wow. Alright, so once it's at 187 on the speed, get some spoilers out here for drag. And then we'll throw out some flaps here too. Throw some flaps out here. Flaps. I'm telling you, these textures on the wing and just the way that the airplane looks is it's scary real. We got our localizer frequencies in, everything's looking good. We got all of our lights on. Like I said, this is just a really short flight. But yeah, it is a real world flight, and it's the L-West 737-700, so it's crazy. Just up and down really quick. And I guess that's what the 700 is for, just these up and down really quick flights. These visuals, I'm telling you, they're nuts. It's amazing how real they are. Look at that sun reflecting off the river. That's crazy. And we're going to fly right by downtown Pittsburgh. It's off to our nose, right off to our left coming up here. Just waiting to hit pits. And we'll go down to 3,000 and put 150 on our speed. Looking good. Wow, look at that. These visuals are beautiful. We get 3000 plugged up, that way it's plugged in and ready to go. There's downtown Pittsburgh. Like I said, I have visited this area before. It's very, very nice. So if you have the chance, it's a great time, great experience. Lots to do in the city there. We should be able to pick up our localizer. Once it comes alive here, I can see it coming in on our PFD. Same with the glide slope. Forgot to put our VREF speed in here. Flaps 40, 130 knots approach is what we're looking for. Good thing it reminds us, huh? Alright. We've captured localizer and glide slope. So everything's looking good here. 135 on our speed. Gets the spoilers out. We will drop the gear.
There's a
2,500 foot call out. And we're looking good. We got localizer and glide slope captured on our PFD, so everything's good. We got the radio altimeter set.
Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
We'll just get our flaps out. That was my fault. Airplane's just trying to get back on track. It's fine. Everything's looking good. If you're just tuning in, we're just landing here at Cape Pitt in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, coming from Columbus, Ohio, in the PMDG 737-700. I really appreciate you guys coming in and just stopping by. It means a lot. So yeah, thank you. If you like what you're seeing, if you could hit down the thumbs up for me, it would mean so much. You guys are literally the best. Can't thank you guys enough. Alright, well then we just have to arm our speed brakes.
1,000.
Alright, 1,000 feet. I'll take control of the airplane. A little bit of a crosswind going on, 13 knots, 12 knots. Just try to keep it as center as I can. I'm getting off glide slope. I need to go put my nose down here. I'll tell you what though, these pilots, they certainly know how to
500.
what they're doing.
400. Approaching minimums. Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Clear down gently. Alright, 80 knots, auto brake off. We'll just keep rolling it out here. Take our first right exit up here. If you're just tuning in, thank you again for watching. We just landed in Pittsburgh. This is another freeware scenery done on flightsim.to, Cape Pitt. It's a beautiful, beautiful scenery for freeware too. So you can't get any better than that. FlightSim.to, these guys over there, they offer so much, and I can't thank them enough for all of their hard work and efforts that they put in. All right, we'll stop ourselves here now. We're off the runway. We'll get everything cleaned up here. We'll get our runway turn-offs and our taxi light on, our landing light. All of our retractables can come off. Engine start switches over to the off position, logo light off. Strobe light can come off, wing light off. We'll fire up the APU here. We'll clean up our spoilers and our flaps. Let you guys listen to these sounds. Alright. We'll switch the nav frequencies over so that way all of our nav information gets off. Alright, and then we'll have to taxi over to the gates. Pull up Navigraph here and look at where we are. Let's say we'll go up here and take Victor all the way up, and I think Southwest Park's over this way somewhere, so we'll go up Victor here. I must have left Navigraph charts open again for you guys. So we're going to go up Victor and then make a left somewhere into the ramp. So again, this is freeware scenery for K-Pit done on FlightSim.to. So this is beautiful, beautiful scenery. We'll take a look at it. So again, I can't thank enough for the devs for this scenery. They did a wonderful job of this airport, and all the devs that have done all the work for Columbus that we just flew out of and departed from, K-Pit, Pittsburgh. They did all sorts of freeware sceneries, the Dell developers over there on FlightSim.to, so I can't give them enough love and shout out. Their hard work and effort and dedication to what they do is, it really shows. So I can't thank them enough. All right, we'll go in here. We'll just pick a gate here. I'm probably going to cheat a little bit. I am going to cheat a little bit and go outside here. Since I don't use GSX, I can cheat a little bit by pointing into the gates. Alright, we'll call it right about there. We'll set our park brake. All of our lights can come off. We'll get the APU gens on. Get the APU bleed on. Get the engine bleeds off. I'll let you guys listen to these engine spool down sounds. Collision lights can come off. Flip these over to the APU gen. Probe heats can come off. So we're at the gate. Seatbelt signs to the off position. Fuel pumps off, leave the forward pump on for the APU. We'll go ahead and connect the jetway here through toolbar pushback. There it should be coming. And we'll go to ground operations here on the PMDG 737 EFB. We'll set our chocks. We will request the ground power. We'll go to ground services and request the cargo, the aft cargo, the forward cargo, the aft galley, and the fuel truck. take a look outside here. It might get a little loud. Let me restart our drone camera here. So there we go. Everything's looking good. Here we got the catering coming. Thank you, Samantha. That was a really lovely flight. It was really nice. It was quick, easy. Everything went pretty smooth for the most part. Well, I can't complain. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. This is all for you guys. I mean, yeah, it's for me too, but it's mostly for you guys. So I hope that you guys enjoy. You know, if there's any criticism or anything that I can work on or you guys want to see, please let me know. I'm open to criticism and open to suggestions and ideas. This is all I want to hear from you guys. You know, you guys, your feedback helps me. You know, so whatever I can do to help the stream or you guys, just let me know. Just let me know. I guess we can do a quick tour here of the airport. Oop. So this is Freeware K Pit. Like I said, it's done very, very, very well on flightsim.to. I definitely recommend you go take a look at it. It's done very, very, very well. You know, they've got the construction going, and my buddy from Pittsburgh can confirm that this is actually going on. So that's really cool that they have this crane there. You know, they have the terminals. Everything's modeled very, very well. But yeah, like I said, this is all Freeware scenery. They did a great job. They have the hangars over here. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to really say, but other than it looks really, really good. Like I said, these devs with these Freeware sceneries, they put a lot of hard work and effort and time and dedication into these. I mean, I can't thank them enough for what they do for all of us. It's really cool. Looks like we got so we got all these hangars over here and buildings, and there's some GA stuff it looks like we got out here. So that's really cool. Like I said, some of these devs for these Freeware, they go above and beyond. And you know, I couldn't ask for much more. No one can. I mean, they really, like I said, they really put their hard work and effort and dedication, and it really shows for all these devs for the Freeware sceneries on flightsim.to. Like I said, these guys are phenomenal. Man, that scene right there with the airport, and you can see the airplane and the sunset. It's absolutely beautiful. So, but yeah, always seems to mess up the jetway. I think the interiors are modeled. I'll have to see. Yeah, it looks like they are, so that's cool. So yeah, all the interior looks like it's modeled too, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, these devs, like, they go above and beyond, you know, what we could ever ask for. So that's really, really, really cool. All the terminals and everything is, like I said, it's all modeled. They really, really, really cool. join. I know some of these are pretty finicky, but that's really cool. I'm trying to decide if I want to do another flight. I mean, it's up. Like, do you guys want to see another flight, or I don't know. And where I'm from, it's 8 o'clock p.m. And just so you guys know, I do have to work tomorrow, so I gotta get to bed at a decent time tonight. But that's up to you guys if you want to see another flight, or if you guys have had enough. You know, with this short flight and stream. But that's totally up to you guys. Otherwise, I'm fine with just the one flight for tonight. I really hope that you guys did enjoy. Again, you know, this is all for you guys. You know, all you guys tuning in. This is all for you guys, and I love doing this. I love, you know, I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear your suggestions. You know, flight routes. Stuff like that. Like I said, I think next time we'll try to hop in the 737 MAX 8 from the iFly. That aircraft, you know, it comes with Boris sound stock, and that'll be a great time. That airplane is top notch. The iFly MAX 8. It's probably one of the best aircraft out there for Microsoft right now. So I'll try to see if I can find some Southwest or some other ops to do in the MAX. We don't have to do Southwest. I choose Southwest because that's, I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it's one of my top favorites for airlines, and I like delivery and the routes that they fly. Like I said, we can fly over in other countries too. It doesn't have to be the U.S. That's where, you know, you guys come in. I want to hear your suggestions. Where you guys want me to fly, what you want me to fly, the airlines you want me to fly. I'll do my best and see what I can do for you guys. Like I said, without your guys' support and effort, I wouldn't be able to do this. This is all you guys. So I can't, again, a huge shout out to you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough for everything. If you could leave me with a like, that would, you know, make my day so much better. You know, helping out a short, not well-known guy. Like I said, just trying to do his part in the world and stream, and you know, being a real-world avionics tech. You know, it's my dedication to you guys. You know, I want to show you, and I hope that you guys enjoy, you know, that I can tell you stories and show you things that I do in the real world as a real world avionics tech working on aircraft. So that's kind of my gig that, you know, I do, is working on real world aircraft as an avionics tech. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy. Like I said, I'm open to suggestions, and you know, and anything from you guys. I want to hear your criticism, your feedback, suggestions, routes, aircraft, where, when to fly, what to fly, routes, everything. I want to hear all your criticism, everything. All right, don't let me repeat myself. I hope you guys have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you guys are from. Again, I really can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. You guys are really, honestly, the best. I can't thank you guys enough for the subscribing to the channel, checking out, you know, the Discord and everything. leaving the like. You guys literally are the best. You know, again, I cannot thank you guys enough for what you guys do for this channel. You guys make this all possible. Our next stream, I'll have to see when our next stream is. I really do need to get into a routine for when I'm going to start streaming. That way you guys know when to catch me and you don't have to worry about just random streams popping up here and there. So yeah, I hope to catch you guys next time. You know, again, thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for all that you do, smashing down the thumbs up button, the subs, being here just in chatting. I love chatting with you guys, love hearing your stories. I love sharing my stories as a real avionics tech and showing pictures. I love hearing your criticism and your flight routes and flight suggestions. I love everything about you guys, so I can't thank you guys enough. But I'll get you guys on the next one. Make sure to stop by our channels and give your feedback and input. Share the content. Leave a like, subscribe. Don't miss anything, you guys. It'll be a great time, you know, for more content. So I guess we'll catch you guys for later, and see ya.